All right. $13.6 surface area of pyramids, cones, and spheres. In fact, I think the formula for the other one was 2B. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. We got to remember, just giving y'all the things, you got to remember which one to use it. Okay, so a pyramid. The formula for a pyramid for surface area is just a big B plus a big L. Remember that the big B is your base, which is the area of base shape. Remember that. That hadn't changed. Here's where things get crazy. The L is your lateral surface. Lateral surface. It is, the formula is 1/2 P times L. Why they didn't tell you that before? It's just the way it is. For a pyramid, the L is your lateral surface. It's written like this, 1/2 P. You know what P is, right?
Perimeter.
Perimeter. This is your slant height. So before it was PH, just your height. But this one is L, it's your slant height. It's pretty much the same thing though, okay? It's pretty much going to be the same thing. It's the slant height, yeah, the height of like the slant part, not straight up and down. I'm about to draw you a picture. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to draw you a picture.
I don't see why they couldn't have just done B plus 1/2 times P times L.
Because, I'll show you in a minute, it's going to change. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. So let me draw the diagram. So there's the pyramid. I'll let y'all draw it. When you're done, put your pencils down. That's a 13, by the way. All right, everyone's got it? Yeah, Michael? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, let's start plugging in information. For surface area, we're using this formula, okay? B plus L. You're all writing every single thing I'm writing. Now, your big B, remember that's the area of the base shape. So, what shape is my base in this figure? The base?
Square.
This is my base. What it's sitting on. And what is it? Like a square. You can say it's a rectangle.
Parallelogram.
Parallelogram. So how do you find the area? It's kind of like length times width, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right here, it's going to be length times width.
Why wouldn't you just do base times height?
Same thing.
It doesn't matter.
No. Okay. Now, your lateral surface area, remember for a pyramid, it's going to be this right here, correct? So I'm going to write 1/2 P times L. Now this is your length. That's your lateral, your slant height. I know it's confusing. I guess we could say base times height. All right. In fact, you can write that in there. Base times height. Same thing. Same thing. Okay, so let's write that out. What is my length and width or base and height, Cecilia? 10 times 10. Does everyone see that? Because you know you're going to be on your own and you can't sit there and say, I don't know how this goes. Does everyone see that? To find the area of this shape, we multiply the two sides together. Do you see that, Michaela? All right, now, plus 1/2 times, and then it's, what's P?
Perimeter.
Okay, Emily, what do I write? What are my measurements to find the perimeter? It's the same as what we did yesterday. No? You don't remember how to find the perimeter? You had what? What are the sides? This is going up. What are the sides? Just 10 and 10? Just these two sides? Okay, Michaela, can you help her out?
10, 10, 10, and 10.
Okay, so perimeter is the entire, all the lines. So this is 10 and this is 10. Perimeter is all the way around, okay? So we have 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. You see that? Okay, and the last thing, we're multiplying it by the slant height. This, boys and girls, is your slant height. That's your slant height. It's going up the side of the pyramid. Your slant height could even be right here. It could be right here. You see what I'm doing here? It could be any of these. This is a slant height, that's a slant height, etc. So what is your slant height, Emily? Very good. 13. Now, before I move on, does everyone see where we got those numbers? Joanne, do you see where we got them all? Okay. All right. So the only thing that's really different is our formula and slant height. Y'all dealt with perimeter. Y'all dealt with the big B. So now we solve. So 10 times 10 is 100. And then this is 1/2 times 40 times 13. Does everyone see where we got 40? All right. Then 40 times 13 divided by 2 is 260. And then we add those together and we get 360 meters squared. Make sure you have step by step on there. Yesterday, some of you were struggling. Y'all were skipping steps. I want every single step because then I can look at it and say, and a lot of you saw that. I would say, well, you have everything set up perfect. You just have a calculation. Error. It's kind of nice to know. I know some of you were getting frustrated with that. But congratulate yourself on knowing how to solve it. You just made some mistakes in your math. And that can be fixed. So getting to this part, that's the hardest part. Are there any questions about this? All right, so you got to be able to, if I say what's the slant height, you have to know what I'm looking for. If I say what's the perimeter, you got to know what we're looking for and how to find the perimeter. Area. What's the area of the base? You got to know, well, this is like a square or rectangle, or this is a triangle, or this, whatever. You got to know what that formula is. You got to be able to recognize it. All right. So how minutes? Okay. Star. Sometimes you must use the Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height. Oh, no. Sometimes they're not going to give you the slant height. And you got to figure it out. So write that down.
I forgot.
That's why we're doing it. Everyone got it? Okay. I'm going to...
Wait, let me just... Yeah.
All right. I'm going to turn my page because there's a lot to write. All right, so I'm doing an example. This is if we don't have slant height. So we're going to find the surface area, but they did not give us the slant height. So we have to figure it out. So I'm going to start drawing my picture.
That's really good for you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Is that the height of the actual shape?
Correct. So draw that. When you're done, put your pencils or pens down. Once you have all pencils are down, then I know that to move on. Okay. All right. So if you recall from the other problem, this, like this, here, here, these are your slant heights, correct? Your slant height can be anywhere along any of the sides, correct?
Yeah.
It's missing. So if you look at it as, here's the actual height from the tip of the pyramid down to the center, and then this would be like something like a radius kind of thing. You know how you do for a circle? It forms what kind of,
A perpendicular.
is perpendicular. They form a right angle, correct? So if you remember if you have a triangle that is a right triangle, this is your hypotenuse. That is also, if you look, that is also the slant height. Y'all see that?
Yeah, now we need to do A plus A squared plus B squared.
That's right. So hold on. So y'all, this is like what you're seeing here. From the tip of the pyramid down and then right to the edge, that forms a right angle. Therefore, those are the legs of a right triangle. This right here
Oh, that makes sense.
is your slant height. Or your hypotenuse. I'm going to put height in parentheses.
It's pretty high.
That's okay. So that I put little red dots going here. Do you see how it forms a right triangle now? I need to know that y'all all see that. Joanne, do you see that? Cecilia, do you see it? Michaela, do you see it? Emily, do you see it? Izzy, do you see it? Michael? Gabby? Whit?
Yes, ma'am.
It's time for Spanish. Okay, I'm going to pause this right here, and then we're going to continue. We started on finding the surface area if you don't have the slant height, because that's part of the formula. And all they gave us was this portion right here, the perpendicular lines, the right angle. This kind of is like a radius, but it just goes from the edge to the center, and they said it's 10. That was given to you. This line that was drawn like an imaginary line from the very top to the center is 24. So this edge right here, which would represent your slant height, is in fact your hypotenuse. So we have to find your slant height before we can find surface area. So in that case, we would use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Again, we're looking for slant height. All right, so A squared would be 10 squared plus, what is the B, Emily? Okay, so we're working with the right triangle, right? Because we're trying to find the slant height. There you go. So one leg is 10. Joanne, do y'all see that? Cecilia, do you see that? The other leg is 24. And we're trying to find the hypotenuse because that's going to be our slant height. So 10 squared is 100. 24 squared is 576. Again, do y'all see why we're doing this? Okay, because again, we're trying to find this side, the hypotenuse, which is in fact the slant height. 100 plus 576 is 676. Now, who remembers how do I get this from C squared to C, Gabby? That's right. We're going to put both sides under the radical sign. And just so y'all know, this is a perfect square, and it equals 26. So then, our slant height is 26. So then this is 26. Do y'all see that? That before I move on, does everyone see how we got our slant height? All that work for one little part of the formula.
And then imagine if you got that and you accidentally got 25 instead.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, like Michaela said, what if you got this wrong and then you start on finding the surface area and it's going to be wrong? So with that said, she brings up a really good point. Y'all know from yesterday, every single one of y'all made some dumb mistakes. Right? And it was right, Izzy. I mean, Gabby's like, yes. I mean, she had several. Everyone, or did you? I can't remember. She had, okay, but they were silly, right? Michael, some of you, who was it? Was it you, Michael, that kept looking at the wrong problem? There's a couple of y'all that were looking at, were you too? I don't remember. Some of y'all were even looking at the wrong problem and putting the wrong stuff down. My Algebra 1 students had that issue yesterday. So it's little problems, and then you do all this work, and it's wrong. So if you're doing a problem like this, you must show each step. Because just like yesterday, like even Cecilia, I walked over there and I said, you know what? You've got all this correct. It's right after here. And I can see that. Instead, if you just give me an answer, Taylor, I'm in the middle of teaching, so then there's no calculating going on. You need to put the calculator away. Like away. Away. Put it on your desk or somewhere else. Okay, thank you. Guys, if you just give me an answer, or you give me this, and then you give me this, and you skip all this in the middle, I can't help you figure out where your mistake is. You see what I'm saying? And then it gets frustrating. All right, so let's continue. Now we have the slant height. Let's find the surface area. All right, so we're going to find the surface area, and you remember the formula for a pyramid is, in fact, big B plus big ol' L. But we now know that the L is really something else. So what is the formula for trying to find the area of this of the base? Raise your hand. Width?
Length times width. Length times width or base times height.
That's right. It can be either one that y'all are familiar with. Okay? It can be length times width. It can be base times height. It's whatever you're familiar with. It's the same thing. Okay? Plus, and remember, that is the area of base shape. And then this, what was the formula for it for a pyramid? Cecilia?
1/2 P times L.
Half times P times L. Remember, this is your perimeter, and there's your slant height. Don't forget P is perimeter. If you need to write it in there, you do that. In fact, I am. Remembering the difference between perimeter and area and everything can be a pain. Emily, get off your watch. No. No looking. No looking. Can't look. Okay. Izzy, what is my length and what is my width of this base? For what? Okay, what's the width? They didn't give it, did they? So what do we assume it is? What would this side and this side and this side be?
20.
There you go. All of these sides are 20. Okay? So length and width is 20. Plus, we have a half times... Hey, Emily. What are my measurements for my perimeter? She's correct. 20 plus 20, blah, 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 blah. That's right. You're adding up all four sides. Good job. What is my slant height, Michaela?
26.
Very good. 26 is your slant height.
So basically the 10 and the 24 are there so you can get the 26 and that's all they're there for?
Excellent. Huh?
Yes.
What can't you see? Okay. So, yes, real quickly, this 24 and this 10, they were only given to you so you can find the slant height. I call them context clues. That's a grammar, literature type term, context clues, when you're trying to figure out what they're trying to say by going with the clues. You can use that in math too. All right, so now let's solve. 20 times 20 is 400 plus a half times 80, because 20 and 20 and 20 and 20, 20, 40, 60, 80 times 26. 8, so boys and girls, which do I do first? 1/2 times 80 or 80 times 26? What would you think I would do?
80 times 26.
80 times 26, and then you can divide by 2 or multiply by half, however you want
Would
to do
it
it.
matter?
No, it wouldn't.
Oh.
But for your sanity, sometimes it's better to do everything else and then do the half. Hopefully you are calculating this also to see if you get the same thing I'm getting. And then tell me if you have any questions. When you're done,
Yeah, I think this is the hardest.
put your
now.
pencil down. Yeah, of course. Yes.
So whenever they don't give us the measurement meters, we just put units.
Yes.
I'm excited for the talent show.
That has nothing to do with math.
Or just.
Stay focused. Anyone have any questions before I move on? Everyone got it? No questions, huh? All right, let's move on.
I just think the formula is a little bit simpler.
Crazy?
No,
Oh.
simpler than the prisms one.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think.
Well, now we have cones. Here is a slightly different one.
Slightly different. What?
I'm not done yet. Now, when we had a pyramid, what was this? What did we turn that into?
1/2 times P times L.
Okay,
Yeah.
1/2 times P times L, and L being the slant height. Why they didn't say S, I don't know. This time we're doing a cone. So I'm going to draw my figure before I continue that. Upside down ice cream. All right, so draw that. Put your pencils down when you're done.
Beautiful color.
Okay. So, back here, the base, we did 1/2 P times L. okay, because our base was like square. What's my base now?
3 radius.
No, not 3 radius. It's a circle,
Oh.
right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, so before, if you remember, we turned this into this, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the P?
Perimeter.
Perimeter.
What do we call it when we're dealing with the circle? Circumference. So therefore, we get rid of the half because if you remember, circumference is 2 pi r, correct? Circumference is 2 pi r. If you were to put 1/2 2 pi r L, it would come out as pi r L. So really, this is our formula for finding surface area of a cone.
So do we even need 1/2?
You need to remember, that's a C. You need to write what I write down.
And why does that seem like a date?
For the same places.
Oh. Perfect lines for everything.
Okay. Now, remember, this is our area of base shape. So really, our formula is what's the formula to find area of a circle?
2 pi r.
No, that's circumference.
Pi r squared.
Plus this right here, pi r L.
We're going to be using 3.145.
Yep. Remember, this is kind of applied. This is kind of what we're doing, but we don't call it perimeter. We call it circumference. So if you were to do 1/2 times 2 pi r times L, the 2 here in the denominator and the 2 with the 2 pi r cancel out. That's why there's no half here. Okay? So anyway, this is what you're left with. This is for a cone. This is why I'm giving you all of this stuff. On test day, you just got to know how to apply it, okay? All right. Now, let's go ahead and solve this. Pi is 3.14 times, what's my radius, Izzy? Squared, plus 3.14 times 3. Cecilia, what is my lateral or my slant height? 10. Does everyone see that? Does everyone see that? This is a little bit different and a little bit easier maybe than the pyramid. All right, now we start working it. At 3.14, we do our exponent first. I'm going to give you a second. I want you guys to calculate it. Do not yell the answer out. I will write down the answers, and then you can see if you made a mistake. All right. 28.26 plus 94.20. You get 122.46 units squared. Any questions? So make sure you have this formula. I'm going to put stars by it. You can highlight it. So you know, like, here is this one from a while ago. That formula.
Wait, can you go back?
This is from the first page. I've got this one highlighted. You need to know this is your main one, and then for a pyramid, this is what you get. The back of the page, that's your main one, but for a pyramid, this is what you get. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
For a pyramid. And this one for a cone. Same one. You see the same one, but we have to adjust it for each shape. I'm not going to sit there on the formula chart and say cone, and I'm going to do this. I'm just going to list them. You have to know which goes where. I'm not going to say it. Here's your pyramid one. Here's your cone one. Not going to do it. I'm going to put like this and this together. And then I'll put this and this together. You have to know what that goes with. I'm not going to spoon feed it.
Wait, so you aren't just going to put B plus L, you're going to put both of them?
I am going to put both of them.
Okay.
I am going to put both of them.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Because I want to see that you can figure this out. You know what I'm saying? If even on homework you're allowed to look back at your notes and everything, I don't mind you doing that, you know, with formulas. You just got to know how to apply them. And that's the big part of it, right? Okay. Everyone have that? Last one, then we're going to do just a couple of examples. Sphere. Y'all ready for a whole nother one?
No.
I'm excited for how you're going to draw it.
You're going to be very disappointed. This one, we're not even dealing with B plus L. This one is just straightforward. 4 pi r squared. That's it. But you got to know, if you see this on a formula sheet, oh yeah, that's that one for a sphere.
Wait, does it say 4 pi r squared because technically it's 4 squared on 4 sides or something?
Of a sphere?
Yeah, because the area of a circle is just pi r squared. So this one's 4 pi r squared.
Because there's 4 sides to a ball.
I have no idea. I'm just
Here's
asking.
my sphere.
Wow!
Oh, man.
It's an awesome sphere.
I do not know how to draw a sphere.
I do. You just draw a circle and then make it look shiny. That's how you
Yeah.
No. Your book does something like this.
Okay.
Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all.
To me, that's like a little more confusing. But anyway, it's a ball, y'all. It's a ball. It's a big globe. It's the earth. It's the moon. It's a sphere. No, the earth is not. And this one is straightforward. 4 times pi times r squared. Well, that's 8. So it's 8 squared. There's no lateral. There's no, slant height. This one's probably going to be your easiest one.
Yeah.
What's 8 squared?
64.
I'm going to let y'all figure it out, and then I'll write it down.
Oh.
All right. You should have gotten this. Now, those of you that have been having mathematical errors should be trying to solve all of these before you do your homework. Just saying. All right. Let's start. Open your books to page 571. Anyone have questions over sphere?
No.
We're going to start with number 12. I'm looking to make sure everyone has their books open and that you've copied all the notes. Hopefully you've copied all the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving you time.
Yeah, the book doesn't draw sphere very well either.
Correct. Either. He just told me I can't draw.
No. I thought they were gonna have like a 3D image of it, and you just copied it.
Books don't do that.
Books are just books.
Yeah.
All right. Do we all have our books open? All right, let's
Book
go.
is book.
12. I want you to look at 12. It says find the total surface area. All right. They gave you that diagram. I'm not going to draw the diagram. You have it in your book. They gave you that diagram. What is that? That's a what? What shape is that? The whole thing.
Pyramid.
Pyramid. Thank you. Okay, so we're looking for the surface area. And I've written down the main formula. But now we need to adjust it. It is a pyramid. So, what is my big B formula for pyramid, Michaela?
The formula for B?
For a pyramid. What is B? What are we looking for?
Base area ratio.
Okay, and what shape is that base?
Square? Or like rectangle?
Okay, so how do I find the area of that square rectangle?
6 from 6.
Okay, which that
Length
could be
times width.
length times width or base times height. So length times width plus. Okay, now what is the L, Michaela?
1/2 PL.
1/2 times perimeter and times slant height. Very good. And luckily for this shape, they've given you pretty much everything you need. So Michaela already said the length and width is 6 times 6. Now we have a half. Emily, what do I put as my perimeter? Don't solve it, just tell me.
6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6.
She's got it, y'all. And Cecilia, what is my slant height?
4.
Slant.
5.
Very good. Do you see why, boys and girls, it's 5? Is 4 slanting?
No.
No. Do you see that, Cecilia? 4 is straight up and down. 5 is slanting. Okay? All right, so now you start calculating. Hopefully you're calculating. And we get 36 plus 1/2 times 24 times 5.
I honestly thought the sphere one was going to be hard. I was learning just
And there you go.
literally just the area of the circle.
Any questions about that one? Any questions? Probably not. We got to keep on moving. When you're done, put your pencils down so I know that you're done taking notes for this one. Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question about 10?
Okay.
Don't they already have the lateral surface area?
No. Lateral surface area is this. This big L, which is this, which is this.
Oh.
That is your lateral surface area. And then it ends up for this figure, it's this formula and it's this answer. See, number 10, you're just finding the 60. Number 11, you're just finding the 36. And I'm like, well, that's dumb. Let's just go for the gusto. Let's find all of it. Any questions? Everyone have it? You got it, Izzy? Are you sure? Okay, don't talk to me about that, too. All right, let's look at 15. Taylor. 15 says find the total surface area of that cone. So now we're looking at a cone. Round to the nearest tenth. Okay, and we're just doing 15. We know how to find lateral, blah, blah, blah. S for surface area, it's B plus big L. Big B plus big L. You will write this down. Taylor, you better have every step written down. Thank you. Now, for a cone, what is the big B formula? We're looking again for the base. So, Michael, what would it be? Okay, so pi r squared, because again, we're looking for area of base shape. And Joanne, what's the shape of the base? That's right, it's a circle. So area of circle is pi r squared. Now, for the lateral surface area, we're talking about the circumference, right? So, Emily, what was the formula for a cone for the big ol' L? There you go, she's right. Pi times r times the the slant height. Remember, this is your slant height. All right. Make sure you have all of this written down. Even my little red notes here, so you remember. 3.14. What is the radius, Cecilia? 5. Four, 5. Michaela, what is the slant height? 10. All right, you people start solving. See if you get what I got. Any questions on how to solve that? And then the last one is a sphere. And that one's easy. Because it's just 4 times pi r squared. So we have 4 times 3.14. And what's the, what's the radius, Taylor?
7.
And it says round to the nearest tenth. So if you got this, we would have to round to the nearest tenth. Any questions? Fantastic. I'm going to write down your, you're doing page, don't forget you may have to find that slant height using the Pythagorean theorem. Number 17 through, they say draw net. Don't draw net, just tell me the answer.
I don't even know what a net is.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Draw no dumb net.
I love how you said that to somebody in the other classroom.
So you're going to do 17 to 21 odd. And you're only finding your total surface area. I don't care what the directions say, you're only finding total surface area. Don't do the other stuff. $25.
They have like one sphere.
And 31.
Oh,
Yep.
that's not bad. Oh,
That's like 5 questions.
6.
17.
Oh, really?
Well, don't complain. I'm just kidding. All right, go ahead. Get started.